When Logan Paul showed up on Monday Night Raw, nobody saw it coming. CM Punk had just beaten Jey Uso at Saturday Night Main Event to become the new World Heavyweight Champion, and he was in the ring face-to-face with the Vision, things already tense. Then, out of nowhere, Logan Paul's music hit. The crowd kinda popped, not gonna lie, probably thinking maybe he was there to back Punk up against the Vision. But seconds later, the twist hit. Logan swung those brass knuckles and dropped Punk pulled. Now, before we dive into what this means, let's set the stage. Because this feud, it could be one of the most unpredictable we've had in years. And I don't say that lightly. See, when Punk returned to WWE, most of us figured his feuds would revolve around the usual suspects. Rollins, maybe Cody, maybe even Roman down the line. But Logan Paul? That changes the entire dynamic. Logan isn't just another celebrity stepping in. He's proven time and time again that he belongs in that ring. He's got the athleticism, he's got the charisma, and most importantly, he knows how to make people care. But here's where it gets interesting. The alliance between Logan and the Vision, whatever it is, it's not exactly clear. You could see from that stare down that something deeper might be going on. Is Logan Paul aligning with the Vision, or is this just a case of opportunism, where both sides get what they want for now? Because let's be honest, if the Vision backs Logan, that's an instant numbers advantage. You've got guys like Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and maybe even Paul Heyman in the mix. That's a serious support system that could tilt the odds in Logan's favor. But here's the twist. Alliances in WWE never last long, especially when there's gold involved. So what happens if the Vision helps Logan win and then turns on him? That's the kind of swerve that could define this entire feud. Now for Punk, this feud actually makes perfect sense at this point in his run. He's back, he's healthy enough to compete, but everyone knows his time as champion isn't going to last forever. His body's taken hits over the years, his MMA run, his AEW battles, the constant grind. So a feud like this with Logan gives Punk fresh energy. It's a verbal war waiting to happen. You already know those promos are going to go crazy. Logan talking about social media, fame, clout, Punk firing back about respect, grit, and legacy. And then add Paul Heyman into the mix, those segments alone could headline Raw every week. Now, some fans might ask, is this feud really better than what Cody's been doing? And honestly, yeah, I think it is. Cody's feuds, while good in ring, have become kind of predictable. It's that overcoming the odds formula, rinse and repeat. But this Punk-Logan dynamic, you genuinely don't know what's going to happen next. Logan could pull something crazy, a betrayal, a Vision assist, or even a new faction forming around him. What do you guys think? Would you actually be down to see Logan Paul leading his own faction with the Vision backing him? Or is that too far-fetched? Let me know below, because that's where this could get really spicy. Now, let's talk about the Seth Rollins factor. We all know Seth's injury is legitimate. He's not likely to return for a few months, maybe longer. But storyline-wise, he's the guy who has every reason to come back as a babyface, especially after the Vision turned their back on him. The question is, when he does return, what happens with Punk? Does he still hold the title by then? Or do we get the long-awaited Punk versus Rollins feud leading into next year? Here's my take. If WWE wants to maximize Punk's return, they let him hold on to that title until at least WrestleMania 42. Imagine Punk walking into Mania as champ. That's an automatic main event, no matter who he faces. Now, let's rewind for a second. Because if you look at Raw right now, the main event scene's been struggling. Jey Uso got a push, sure, but he wasn't really ready for that spotlight yet. WWE's had the plug holes in the lineup. Punk's arrival gave Raw a jolt, but one guy can't carry a brand forever. So in a weird way, Logan Paul is exactly what Raw needed, an outside variable that shakes things up. And don't forget Braun Breaker. The guy's been on the verge of breaking out for months. If WWE books him right, lets him be that monster heel, he could be a legitimate contender by summer. Picture this, Punk versus Braun, Logan versus Punk 2, and Seth Rollins returning to crash the party. The possibilities suddenly feel wide open. But here's where WWE could really play the long game. What if Punk versus Logan isn't just a feud, but the start of something bigger? Maybe Logan becomes that mainstream rival WWE's been missing. He's got mainstream pull, he's young, and he brings a completely different audience into the product. And that's what WWE wants right now, crossover appeal. You can see it in how they book Logan. Every time he's on screen, social media lights up. So giving him a program with Punk isn't just good wrestling booking, it's smart business. Now, here's what I want you guys to think about. Do you believe WWE is setting up Logan Paul to actually win gold? Or is this more about elevating him, giving him credibility without the belt? Because WWE's history with celebrity champions is messy. But Logan isn't a celebrity in the old sense. He's practically a full-time wrestler at this point. And if you're trying to build towards a new era, maybe Logan with a title isn't so far-fetched after all. Still, Punk's story arc is about redemption, about coming back, proving he can still go, proving he can still be the best in the world. And if he drops that title too soon, that story doesn't hit as hard. So my bet is Punk survives this feud, but barely. Logan is going to push him, expose his limits, and maybe plant the seeds for something bigger down the line. Because here's the thing, Punk has never been about being comfortable. Every time he gets too stable, something shakes it up, and Logan Paul, he's the perfect chaos agent. Let's not forget too, Paul Heyman being in this story means we're probably getting long-term storytelling. WWE doesn't bring Heyman into feuds that end after one pay-per-view. So whatever's being built here, it's going to stretch out. Now think about this. If the Vision, Logan Paul, and maybe even Heyman are all orbiting around Punk, that's a power struggle waiting to explode. And when Seth Rollins comes back, man, the chessboard will look completely different. So yeah, this feud might just be the most interesting thing happening in WWE right now. It's got everything: unpredictability, crossover appeal, veteran versus rising star, and long-term implications. But that's just my take. What do you guys think? Is WWE setting up Logan Paul to actually dethrone CM Punk? Or is this just another chapter in Punk's story to cement himself as the guy on Raw? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'll be checking what you guys think, because this one feels like it could go in a dozen directions. And hey, if you made it this far, you're definitely part of the real wrestling community. So hit that like button if you're hyped for what comes next. Because whether you love him or hate him, Logan Paul just changed the entire landscape of Monday Night Raw. And CM Punk, he's about to find out what happens when viral meets veteran.